Well, welcome, and I am your host, and my name is Britton. Today, I just wanted to get on here before we start our conversation and let you know that I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I speak to people that are in those professions, and this channel is for information only. Hopefully, it's good information that you can apply to your life. So, as I speak to those guests, and if you feel like you want to support any of those, some of them are authors, blogs, mental health advocates. They have foundations, not-for-profits. If you want to support those people, I'll put the links in the description below. Also, if you'd like to support the Suicide Monk podcast and help keep this moving forward, I'll put that GoFundMe in the link below. I'll put the link down there for the Ashes to Life coaching as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us keep moving forward. And any prayers, lifting up, good vibes, we will take them. Thanks a lot. Again, we'll see you on the good side. Well, welcome to the Suicide Monk. And today we have Riana Milne. And she has got quite the accomplishments under her belt. And you've written a few books, right? You've got an ebook
13.
online that's 13 books. I didn't find all those.
Yeah.
I found 2. So that's... and then the ebook that you'd sent, so that was
There's
good.
other ebooks. Yeah, my main 2 are the #1 bestsellers on Amazon: Love Beyond Your Dreams and Break Free of Toxic Relationships to Have the Love You Deserve, and Live Beyond Your Dreams: From Fear and Doubt to Personal Power, Purpose, and Success.
And you're basically, well, I don't mean to basically, but a love and relationship coach for the most part, from what I'm gathering.
Over 25 years as a licensed mental health counselor, also a certified addictions professional, also a student's assistant counselor. So I worked in schools with grades kindergarten all the way through college for the emotionally upset student. And then globally, I'm a life, love, trauma, recovery, and mindset coach.
Very nice. I looked on your website. What is laser coaching? What is it? Is that like hyper focused?
Laser coaching is somebody that wants help right away over 1 to 3 sessions on something.
Gotcha. Okay. So just like
we get right to the point and to the solutions that they could do and how they're feeling about it. So it's really direct, looking for the problems, the solution. Other people work with me for 4 to 6 months to heal childhood and love trauma. That does take longer. It's a very intensive program. And for that, I'm CCTP Advanced, which is Certified Clinical Trauma Professional.
Gotcha. Very nice. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about what brought you to this point and what brought you to writing the books and how your life shaped your present.
Well, I mean, it started when I was very young, and sadly, my best friend as a child was killed by a drunk driver. And I had asked at age 16 if I could go to counseling for support. My mom said, no one in this family will ever go to a counselor. Then I said in my defiance, and I will grow up and become one, which I did. You know, so that was where it began. Also, another sad story, my Penn State girlfriend was murdered by her boyfriend. So to my best friends, I dedicated my work and my purpose, because I didn't know how much life I had left, to helping others that had those situations. So that's where the love trauma had come in. Gotcha. I did have a couple love trauma relationships myself, and that's what sent me into the deep psychological research of what do these people have and why am I attracting this into my life, and what makes someone narcissist or sociopathic. And that's when I discovered the intense correlation between childhood trauma and love trauma. And it's really important that you heal your childhood trauma from the past so that you can go on to attract an emotionally healthy, evolved, and conscious partner. And you really are more conscious about your relationships instead of bringing all the old past norms and behaviors into a relationship. Like, for example, if you grew up with parents that yelled and screamed at each other and that's how they handled an issue, then that's normally what you're going to do because you learned that was normal. So that's what we call the norms. And many of the norms are not healthy, right? So we have to break the subconscious negative patterns and become more consciously aware and introduce and practice new behaviors and patterns for a more successful, loving relationship.
Yeah. And you do that with each person. So you're doubling up on that.
We
You
do
have
that
to,
all day, every day.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to dig deep on, and especially in couples, because it's a mutual thing there. So you got to
Yeah. I work with
uncover.
singles and couples and straight and LGBTQ plus clients from age 16 all the way up. My oldest client's 82.
Wow.
So, some people suffer in relationships and divorce after divorce and can't figure out what they're doing wrong. And that's usually when I get someone. So hopefully they fix this pattern sooner in their life than later, because once they become more consciously aware, they love themselves and their life and the new partners they're having and friends that they have in their life, and they would never go backwards to where that negativity was before.
Right. So
And the research shows 100% of us have childhood trauma. So I always say you can't change what you don't know or understand. So you have to know what they are, understand, okay, this happened to me. How does that correlate to the life I'm living right now? How can we fix that? And then that is our journey over 4 to 6 months. And I have trademarked materials, books and notebooks. So those are some of the books that I say that I've written. And the notebooks that they use are like 150 pages. So coaching under our method, it's a trademark method, is very educational. So they learn the skills and they practice, again, what they have to eliminate and practice the new skills that they have to do instead.
So what are some of those skills that, like a well-rounded program, is there certain, like you exercise,
There's a
meditation?
lot of things that they do, but they learn how to live in the light instead of the dark side. Well, what is the dark side? Well, that's where anxiety and depression live, and the victim mentality and this negative fear-based thought system where 8 out of 10 thoughts are negative, which is most humans. And we live in the light. So, if we're challenged, which we understand that's supposed to happen, our mindset goes right away to, okay, well, that's not working. What's plan A, plan B, and plan C, without getting upset or saying, why me? So it's a whole different way of looking at life and challenges. But it is shown in the studies that, childhood trauma impacts 7 areas of life, from your physical health to making it shorter lifespan, to irritable bowel syndrome, depression, anxiety, in the brain and the body, stress related, how you deal with things, your emotional upset, poor self-regulation, impulse, right? There's a lot of different things that cause, people to be unhappy. And that is the source of it. And the sad thing is, our big pharma wants us to say, take a pill and put a Band-Aid on it, and it doesn't get to the core issues. So all my clients don't have psychotropic meds. Instead, they're doing the mindset and holistic mind, body, spirit work that's involved to heal themselves and to find their inner core of happiness. And when they're happy and lit up about their life, they easily attract someone else who is.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I believe that. So how do you get somebody, especially in a couple situation, from point A, the
toxic fighting?
Yeah, where there's such a resistance there to change because we don't often know what change looks like, and we're afraid of it. We're comfortable in the dance that we're doing. So how do you get them from point A and over that barrier to
the first thing is to identify each person's childhood traumas.
And you say then there's a top 10 of those. Is that right?
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
And I can go into what those are, but just to finish this pattern, second is to have them understand what each other's triggers are. And 3, to heal them individually and heal their relationship as a couple. And my first class is teaching empowered communication, how to speak open and honestly and be receiving of that message in a safe and loving and kind way. Stop the fighting, stop the yelling and the screaming, because that never gets anything solved, right? So that's really important, empowered communication. So going into what are the top 10 traumas, Um, these, again, these are found from the work that I've done. Okay. So whether I'm working in the schools or the mental health ward with kids ages 5 through 19, I worked with women of the prison system who are 18 to 65. So all different ages, cultures, backgrounds, races, distill the top 10 traumas, men, women, straight, LGBTQ, still the same. Okay. So these were the top 10 that kept coming up. And before I go into them, I want people to know this is not about blame or shame. We're not looking to blame your parents, because the truth is childhood trauma goes through at least 3 generations. So if you recognize your trauma, it's certain your parents had trauma and their parents, right? So, and then there's cultural norms, and then there's norms from the area you grow up with or in, and their traditions. So we have to look at the whole thing so that we understand, where these patterns are coming from. But the top 10 is first was there an addiction in the family? Now, I'm also an addictions counselor, so it's more than just drugs and alcohol, right? There's sex. So if they were addicted to porn or cheating, gambling, hoarding, spending, eating, gaming, TV watching, social media addiction, workaholism. So, there's these addictions that would come before the priority of the parent-child relationship. So that's number 1. Number 2 is verbal messaging. This is a really strong one. What messages do you hear as a child? Do you hear you'll amount to no good? Or, why would I send you to college and waste my money? Those are put downs, okay? Critical messages. Or do you hear, I'm always proud of you. You do such a good job. I love you. These are positive messages, and not a lot of us have heard those. And also what is modeled to you in verbal messaging. Like I said, the yelling, fighting parents, or let's sit down and talk about our issues and figure it out, which is proactive, not reactive, right? Okay. Number 3 is emotional abuse or neglect. Number 4 is around abandonment, and there's fault or no fault abandonment. Like a no fault abandonment would be if a parent died early or was deployed for war. A fault abandonment is if you were never in your child's life, or you are, but you're not emotionally active. So you work all day, you eat dinner, you go to your home office, and you're barely involved in your child's life. Okay. Then there's a physical abuse, rape, or molestation. And again, this could be inside or outside of the home. You could have had the perfect home life, but then a coach molested you. Okay. So this could be happening anywhere. The next one is if you were adopted, part of the foster care system, or had to go live in someone else's home because your parents couldn't afford to keep you in a house with them. Number 7, a lot of people can relate to as personal trauma. Were you ever bullied or didn't feel good enough? Were you a chubby child and teased for that? Or skinny and gawky and called a nerd? Were you the only African-American in all Caucasian school? Coming out as LGBTQ. So anything that made you feel different is under trauma 7. Trauma 8 is around the sibling. Was your sibling the golden child, the favorite one, the star athlete, more handsome, more beautiful, or smarter than you, and you were always compared? Or did your sibling bully you? Or were they born with a medical issue that commanded more mom's and dad's time with them, and you kind of felt left off to the side? Number 9 has 2 traumas now. Number 11 had to be moved down because that was community trauma. And when I made the childhood trauma checklist back in 2011 and 2012, there was not a lot of community trauma. Since then, we have our mass shootings, our school shootings, COVID and other epidemics, the whole political environment, the floods, fires, hurricanes that wipe out communities at large. So these have really escalated since I've done this chart, and it had to be in the top 10. Of course, those things impact the family, but that's the other side of number 9. But also family trauma is if anyone was incarcerated in the family, if you grew up in lack and poverty or in a dangerous neighborhood, these types of things. And then trauma 10 is any mental health issues in mom and dad. I'm part of the baby boomer generation, and they didn't talk about mental health. They didn't go to counselors, so we have to guess. Were our parents depressed? Were they on diet pills? What was going on with them? And the two hardest for kids to navigate is bipolar and borderline personality disorder. So borderline is erratic moods. When they're good, they're great. When they're bad, they're horrid, and you never know what you're going to get. And bipolar is manic depressive, and depression can show up as extreme fatigue, checking out emotionally, or, anger even. So these are things that are difficult for a child to navigate. So those are the top 10 that I name.
Wow.
There
So
are more. Those are
well,
the top 10.
well, I've
Yeah.
got plenty of the ones you've already named, so
Right.
we're good. Like,
Right.
I'm 8 out of 10 at least. So so what do you do with that? Like when you have a high,
Okay, so how do they show up? Like people
yeah,
say, okay, I had 3 or 4 of these or 5 of these. How do they impact me as an adult? I don't get it. Right. So there's many, many patterns, at least 24 patterns. But if someone is jealous and controlling, then usually verbal messaging, like you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, and that personal trauma of not fitting in, you were the chubby child or the skinny and gawky guy who can get the girlfriend, then there is that jealous, controlling piece of you because deep down your subconscious messaging is saying, I'm not good enough. If there's anger, you probably grew up around anger, and that was the normalized way of handling an issue. Perfectionism is trying to people please the difficult parents. So you may be a people pleaser today with your partner, trying to do everything for them, and they don't do anything for you, and then you feel frustrated. Or being perfect and making sure everything is just so. Blaming behavior. Instead, you blame your partner and you can't apologize or own when you make a mistake. The abandonment issues. If you had anything around abandonment, then very often you're codependent or you could become love addicted. And these types of relationships become very toxic. You are together, you break up, you get back together.
oh
Over and
yeah,
over again, your conscious mind knows they're not good for me. And subconsciously, you go back and just accept the breadcrumbs of the love that they give you. And the reason you do that is from emotional or physical abandonment. So again, we have to increase the self-love and the personal confidence, get everything healed from around the childhood dynamics. And then if you're single, teach you what to do to attract someone who's emotionally healthy and what you're looking for. Instead of the difficult father, you were people pleasing, which is the norm, and what chemistry will take you towards. We're going to break that chemistry and have you go towards someone who's emotionally healthy. So it's a very deep psychological training.
yeah. How do you take somebody that doesn't really love themselves to
Well, most
to
of my
really seeing them?
people have struggled with that, right?
Yeah,
They feel
it's
bad about themselves, not good enough,
shame,
so they don't
guilt, all
measure
that.
up, or they can't go for the career they really desire. So I do career coaching as well. Um, People who are struggling with their own children, the parent-child relationship, again, is keeps going down the generations. So if I have clients that are parents, I teach them how to help their children through difficult times. And it's amazing how the whole family can change. It's really a beautiful thing to see. But most of my clients have low self-love and low trust of themselves and of other people.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I'm looking at myself. I'm like, how would somebody have taken me from that? Not really, like, I hated myself equally with the rest of the world, and how do you take somebody like me from point basically ground zero to like you are worth something, you are this, you are
Yeah.
that. Now I have a different understanding of myself today. So my but I went through a lot of hardship and a lot of breaks in my mind and my body and my soul to get there.
Mm,
Like it damn near cost me my life. So and maybe
yeah.
you're
There's
not
a lot of spiritual components to this as well,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Faith-based education, self-love. We are all here for a reason. It's up to us to find our purpose and give of ourselves and our individual talents to help the world in some way. So whether it's animals or the earth or other people, you can find a way to feel good about who you are and what you do in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of times, especially in what I'm doing, that the only reason I'm alive is because of my cat or my dog. I love those more than humans. You
Yeah.
know,
A lot of
yeah,
times they do relate to animals better, but
yeah,
that is somebody that has to do the childhood trauma healing work.
mm, yeah,
They weren't born that way,
right,
right? They were
right.
born 100% perfect. God doesn't make mistakes. So, we have to take from what they went through and heal that,
Yeah,
and then give them that self-love and respect. And I'm working with a couple now where the gentleman's really angry all the time, and she's afraid, so she can't connect because women need safety. Why? Because cave woman brain, she's the child bearer, so a woman has to feel safe to feel attracted. And there's a lot of arguments around sex and sexual desire. Well, if he's yelling at her, it's the last thing she's thinking about. So pushing for that. And why does he push for that? Because there's not enough self-love. Why? Because the father's messaging was, you're not enough. So it all goes back to the childhood trauma dynamics, which as children, we were innocent. It wasn't our fault. And the parents didn't know any better because very often they were abused or raised in the same way. Most parents think they're doing better than what they got.
I did. I thought I did better, and I
Yeah.
lost everything quicker.
Yeah. But,
And
we still need to know that challenges are part of life and there's positive ways to navigate them.
there are. So let go into the anger thing because I've just discovered this about myself. That was my catalyst, my thing that basically took everything from me. And anger
Mhm.
and rage is a very ugly thing. It makes everybody unsafe. Doesn't
Yes.
matter where you're directing it. If you're in the presence of it, you feel unsafe. Fear,
Absolutely.
fight or flight automatically kicks in. What I realized even recently is how abusive that is.
Very abusive, controlling,
Very abusive.
manipulative. Yeah. You're trying to manipulate someone to change because if I'm angry enough, they'll get scared and they'll change to what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My anger actually it cost me everything. Like my
Yeah.
kids, my grandkids, my family, my relationships, my jobs, everything.
Sounds like you're my ideal client.
Yeah. So here's what I started doing because I don't have the means to go get help. So I'm on my own.
Mhm.
And I've kind of always been on my own. So I learn really well and I pay attention. I've learned behaviors and blah blah blah. I read a lot. I read for myself. I study.
Reading's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll like my books.
I probably will. I've started the ebook. So, but what I started to do, I've never been able to get rid of the rage. It's been just tormenting my whole life. It damn near it was enough for me to take my life because it took everything. What I've started doing is every time I get frustrated, and I mean, start getting frustrated, that recognition point as I hit my knees, I start bowing to it because
Mhm.
I don't give it any place to fight anymore. I don't show up for the fight anymore.
Good.
And then in that it doesn't stick around. Well, and mine is through prayer. So,
Mhm.
I hit my knees and my face is on the floor and I'm spitting and trying not to cuss and I'm breathing heavy and I'm like, I need your grace and your assistance right now. And within 30 seconds to a couple of minutes, my whole being is at peace because
Yeah.
I've
All my
given,
clients meditate. That's one
yeah,
thing they definitely do. There's
yeah,
also vitamin therapy that they do.
mm,
We do a ton of mindset skill work that they are constantly practicing, rewriting the messages from their past and practicing them individually. I have the one man practicing with his partner and his son, and his son was afraid of him. Why? Because he yelled at him all the time. Now he's not. Now the son is connecting and opening up and talking to him about his problems. And he's there, my gosh, this feels great. I never had this with my dad, right? So he is breaking the lineage of this childhood trauma and teaching his son what he learned, which is called empowered communication, speaking your feelings and your truth, but in a kind and loving way. Right. So, there's a lot of skills. Like I said, it's a 150-page workbook that we're going through. There's a lot of skills, but it's a system that they do 4 to 6 months. Most couple do this 6 months because I need more time with individual and then them as the relationship. to really change and grow and practice these skills over time. And I describe it like a rainbow. You're starting at, I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know how to fix it. Then they get the skills, and it's the learning curve, going up the learning curve, practicing everything they're learning. And by the time they're done and they've got this, then it's like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And they look back at who they were before and like, oh my God, I would never go back to that person. I don't want to be that person ever again. So these skills are used the rest of their life. So yes, it's an investment of time and resources. The good thing of working with someone like me that's licensed and certified out the wazoo, it's a complete tax deduction. So you get the education and you can write off the whole coaching program. So that's why a lot of people invest saying, I need this. I know I'm not the best version of myself. I don't want this anger. I don't want to be jealous. I don't want to be controlling. What's going on in me? Why do I keep getting narcissistic partners? Can't just keep saying your picker's off. Like, let's fix this. Right. So
My picker's off.
well,
Yeah,
then,
well, that's a good point.
there is an art and psychology to dating successfully. So that's why I said you can't change what you don't know or understand. So
Sure.
reading it is one thing, but practicing with a coach that keeps you accountable and say, I'm doing this. How do I stop it? Or I'm doing that. Or she's still hearing you yell at her. So what is it? Is it the pace of your words? Is it your volume? Is it the tone of voice? Let's figure it out and change that up. Right? Because I don't think I'm yelling, but she hears you're yelling. So what is not being corrected? So it's everything fine-tuned, and that's my job. And like I said, I've been doing this work for over 25 years, and we have great success.
Yeah. I would imagine by the time they get to you, they're ready to change.
They're very ready.
Yeah.
And my clients love this. And the change happens within a week to 10 days already. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. And my son, he's only in module 1 of 10 and says, yeah, already. My son says, Dad, you're so different already. And he goes, that makes me feel so good. Like he's opening up to me. And he caught him right in time in teenage years. So it could have gone really bad, right? It could have really spiraled down if he didn't stop this anger and rage at his boy.
Yep, it does. There's no way out. If
there
you don't
is.
do something about there is if you don't do something about it.
Yes,
there is. That's the thing is, it's really hard to find the quality tools a lot of times. So that's really great that you work with people like me.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we need it, and quality tools to put in our bag and to learn new behaviors.
Yeah.
We're already really, really stubborn people, super stubborn. And that's because
you got to open up your mind and heart to learning and trying new things, or you're going to stay in the same rut, and that's no fun.
Yeah,
so,
pride and ego are very, very powerful when you're angry. I don't know about other things. I do know anger, though.
Well, you're defending yourself. You want to be right because as a kid you were told you're never right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's reasons that you're doing all these things, and we have to understand what they are and then change them.
Yeah. For me, I had to tear down all those walls that I built as a child, and really realize that this outward reaction, it's not my true nature.
Right.
My true nature is giving, loving, kindness, joy, like bringing peace. That's what I want to do. Like, and you look at somebody and it's like, most people are not intentionally malicious. It's a behavioral reaction that is protecting themselves.
But nobody wants to be around that. Right? Nobody wants to be absorbing all that negative energy from anyone. It's too much. Life is hard for everybody. Like life's a challenge for everyone. The last thing we need is someone coming at us. Awesome.
Well, you don't want my 6-year-old temper tantrum in a 200-pound man's body?
No, that's good.
That's about what
my clients invest with me. So that is, that's what I do to help them get out of that.
Right. I love it. I love that you're doing that. I love that. I was curious about how this would play into it, but this is all valuable information too, reclaiming the true nature of who you are,
right,
and what you have to give back to the world. So thank you very much for being a part of this and sharing your stuff, and anything we can do to help you.
I just want the listeners to know there's a lot of free resources on my website. It's my name, RianaMilne.com. You can get the free ebook on the homepage, How to Have the Love You Deserve. Free book chapter downloads of Live and Love Beyond Your Dreams, sister books meant to go together. There's 4 free love tests, and one of them is the childhood trauma checklist. So if you weren't able to write them down, you can get that for free. And also my podcast is called Lessons in Life and Love with Coach Riana Milne. And on my YouTube channel, I have over 350 audios and videos that are free. So lots of good free information out there for you to start getting help. And if you're ready to change your life and the way you feel about yourself and your love connection, reach out to me and I'll work with you.
Riana, thank you so much for being here and joining us on the Suicide Monk. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you
for
so much.
All the information and your knowledge and inspiration. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Have a beautiful day. Thank you.
You too.